Let's roll for insight. You're listening to Theoretical Insights of D&D with Insightful Jerry and Improv Rob. Hi, I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Rob.
And welcome back to Theoretical Insights of D&D. I hope you enjoyed that intro that we played for you.
Why wouldn't they?
Exactly. Rob, you don't even know what the intro is.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we're putting it in after the fact.
Yeah.
We just randomly selected. We got a little small selection of intros.
Hey, I gave you the music, though.
Yeah, the music, stellar.
Yep. I can make a couple more tracks if you want me to.
I think it's perfect. We just change up the words a little bit. But yeah, so we're back in with a little list of some monsters that kind of stick out to us from a specific CR type.
Yeah.
We're doing CR quarter or half today?
Half.
Half.
We already did half quarter.
Yeah, we skipped eighth.
Yeah, because, usually you don't really run into a whole lot of CR8.
Or you run
CR8.
Commoner.
Well, yeah.
Speaking of Commoner.
But, what?
I made a joke stat block.
Okay.
Can I share it with you real quick?
Sure.
So, everyone knows the Commoner. 10 armor class, 4 hit points, whatnot, right?
Yep.
Rob, are you prepared for the Uncommoner?
What
would you expect the Uncommoner is?
The Uncommoner is the aberration counterpart to the Commoner.
No, he's just a large humanoid, any race except human, any alignment except neutral, armor class 11, hit points of 13, a speed of 31, a burrow speed of 5 feet, just because. 12s all across the board. Passive
That
perception.
5 feet of burrow speed is because he hasn't clipped his fingernails in a while.
He's just a down-to-earth kind of person, actually.
Hey, down to through earth.
Yeah. He is immune to the invisible condition.
Fair.
He has a telepathy up to 2 feet.
Useful.
Perception of 15. Passive perception. And he has one attack. It's called Taser.
Nice.
Plus 4 to hit. It's one target. 1d6 plus 1 lightning damage.
May as well.
Yep. And that's the Uncommoner right there.
We are back again to rank
It's a CR8,
monsters.
by the way.
Yeah. Huh?
It's a CR8.
Why is it okay. That's fair.
Yeah. So
we're ranking CR quarter monsters again today. We already made our list for CR. We're doing CR half today. Yeah.
you
said eighth.
We've already had this conversation. I've done said we're doing this.
I know that, but then you went off on a tangent about the Uncommoner and all that.
Dude, that's going to be my wrestler name. Speaking of wrestler, what's the first creature on that list of ours?
A black bear?
The black bear. Those are good for wrestling. If you can wrestle a black bear, you can wrestle a man. Because the bear...
Actually, in all seriousness, you are encouraged to, if you come face to face with any bears, the black bear is the one you fight against. The grizzly bear is the one you lay down.
There's a bunch of different bears.
You know how I found that out?
How?
I watched Cocaine Bear.
Nice.
The movie was hilarious.
Dude, I gotta go check that out.
Rest in peace, Ray Liotta. You were fabulous in the movie.
Was that the bear?
No, that was the actor that died earlier this year.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, he was in the movie?
Godfather. And
man.
Goodfellas.
Man, that's crazy. So he wasn't a bear at all?
No. His persona, he carried the weight of a bear with him. That's how big he was on the screen.
Yeah, but that's why we put the bear on this list, because a bear is a symbol of big
Power.
muscle, power,
and the ability to nap for 4 months.
Dude, who doesn't
wouldn't
want
to do that?
Yeah, honestly. The bear is a classic animal that is dangerous in the woods. That's why I put the black bear on here. Honestly, it's nothing to fret at. It is dangerous for its CR level.
Yeah, it's an 11 AC, so it's not going to be impossible to hit, but it is going to be a little bit harder for maybe a first or second level party. But 19 hit points, obviously, is the smallest of the bears that are available in the Monster Manual or Bestiary, whichever one that you're using at the time. So it is going to be the weakest. However, it does have a movement of 40 feet and a climb speed of 30 feet, so it is extremely mobile for it to be... it's technically only considered a medium beast, but if you want to bring the real world into it, then this is pretty quick for a 700-pound animal. If you want to make it a larger scale.
Yeah, honestly, it's got a passive perception of 13, which that's all right for. I mean that.
Well, if it's dealing with a first, second, or third level party, a passive perception of 13 can pick up most of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's got keen smell, so advantage on perception checks that rely on smell.
Now, here's where it gets dangerous: is that it's got multi attack, and it's one of the very few CR halves that have multi attack. It makes 2 attacks with one with its bite and one with its claws. So its bite is a +4 to hit, 1d6 plus 2 piercing damage. The claws are a +4 to hit, and that's 2d4 plus 2 slashing damage. So that is a guaranteed, if it hits, at least 3 from the bite and 4 from the claws.
Yeah, and it's a +4 to hit, so that's at that level.
First to third level, the only one that's not going to be in any danger technically would be a fighter that had the option of starting with any kind of heavy armor like a chainmail or a paladin or one of the cleric classes.
Even the higher up medium armors would be fine too.
Yeah,
with a shield too.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're only starting with base level starting equipment, then the best medium armor you're able to get is what?
I think it's scale mail.
Yeah, but even with that, you only have a AC of 16 or 17, depending on what your dexterity is.
So you put a shield on with that.
No, that's including the shield. Because you only get +2 from your dex and with medium armor. Unless you've got the medium armor master, I believe.
Let me check this.
Because there's a medium armor that starts at 13, if I'm not mistaken.
Scale mail is 16 with the dex. So you put it in the shield, that's 18 right there.
Okay.
So they'd have to.
Now, that's also if you have dex. So if you're playing if you've got medium armor on and you're playing a cleric and for some reason you decided to have dexterity as your dump stat, you have a 15 armor class.
Yeah.
So
it
all just depends.
Or 14.
Yeah.
Or lower.
Yeah. It all just depends.
Yeah. But honestly, +4 to hit, pretty dangerous for that level.
That, and realistically, you can, specifically when you're at lower levels, when you throw a bear into it and you say you're in the middle of the woods, you hear some rustling behind you, but when you turn around, you don't see anything. And by the time you turn back around to continue, there is a fully grown black bear staring you down. And it's just that feeling of, that's always, in real life, that's a possibility. And how terrifying that would be.
Yeah, or utilize that climbing speed.
Exactly.
Parties just, camping out. They all rolled real low on those perception checks. Barbarian
drops out of a tree.
Barbarian is like, I'm going to get some, or Wizard is like, I'm going to get some bark from this tree for a spellcasting focus or something, or component.
Yeah.
He scrapes it. Next thing he hears is after he's done cutting off this bark, he hears the claws scratching down as this bear slides down. Just stares at it dead in the middle of the night.
And then he stands up on his hind legs, puts on a little hat. There's a forest fire nearby, and he runs off.
Well, no, Smokey the Bear was brown.
Well, I mean, yeah, technically, but there are black bears that are brown as well. But I know that Smokey the Bear would be considered a Kodiak because of where, he's more famous for Yellowstone than he is Pisgah.
This is his little brother or little cousin, Blazy the Bear.
Yeah, Blazy the Bear. He's the one that starts them.
Yeah.
That's how Smokey keeps a job. Nobody knows that. It's kept under wraps because Smokey pays him under the table.
That's it right there.
That's
the
how he
whole
stays
scheme
famous.
Of forest fires. So California, keep watch.
Yeah.
Watch out for Blaze the Bear.
Smokey's paying him to start them.
Smokey the Bear actually smokes when he's not on camera?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, smokes crack.
Wow.
So what's the cool factor of the black bear, regardless of the whole smoking?
Well, because we changed up a couple of names on this cool factor, let's run through that. So, as you know, 1 is our lowest and 10 is our highest. So this week, for the number 1 spot, we have Logan Paul. Number 2 is still The Rock. 3 is still Vin Diesel. 4 is still Peter Dinklage. And 5 is probably going to stay Sean Bean because he's good.
Yeah, it's a solid one.
Now, number 6, a new one with Elijah Woods.
Yep.
7, that would be Alan Rickman.
Another
Rest in peace.
Rip.
Now, number 8, Bruce Willis.
Yep.
Number 9, Mother effing Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. Now the only reason we didn't put Bruce Willis as 9 is because he refused to show up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 10, our nerd hero, Henry Cavill.
The icon right there.
So the Black Bear, realistically for me anyway,
I'm putting right there Sean Bean.
yeah, I would say, yeah, Sean Bean.
Because he's
Number
there
5.
in a lot of stuff.
Give
And
it
he
a-
always does his job.
Yeah, that's very true. It doesn't do anything extremely well. It doesn't really suffer anywhere either.
Yeah.
Because you can throw the Black Bear into just about any kind of environment on like a material plane. They can go into the colder environments. They can go into the tropical. They can go into the forest and jungles. And you probably want to leave them out of a desert because it really wouldn't make any sense.
I was
but
fixing to say, like, just the party is just
There's only
like,
there's only
we've been-
one or two places that you can't put a black bear.
the party's just like, we've been 3 days without water in this desert. Is that a mirage or is that a black bear? It's Blazy the bear!
No wonder it's so hot in this godforsaken desert.
So keep an eye out for Blazy the bear stat block. We'll make
Yeah.
that for you guys, and he'll be a big bad evil guy for
And in the
your-
meantime, we're going to do the black bear a solid 5 Sean Bean.
Yeah. All right, what's next on this list?
That would be the cockatrice.
Oh, the cockatrice.
Now, the cockatrice is a very ugly winged chicken. Now, I know chickens, have wings, but the cockatrice's wings look more like a wyvern's, right? So, as a matter of fact, the description in the monster manual, or specifically the 5e bestiary that I have on my phone, is the cockatrice looks like a hideous hybrid of a lizard, bird, and bat, and it's infamous for its ability to turn flesh to stone. And it's also an omnivore, so their diet consists of berries, nuts, flowers, and small animals such as insects, mice, and frogs things. Oh, that's just a asterisk. And frogs. Things they can swallow whole. So they don't chew, even though their beak does have those little pointed spots that look like teeth. They're still technically a bird.
Yeah. You want to know a fun fact?
What's that?
Cockatrices are mentioned in the Bible.
Hmm.
Jeremiah 8:17. For behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you, which will not be charmed, and they shall bite you, saith the Lord.
How about that?
Now, there's a lot of translation thing where some people have seen it as translated as adder, which is like a type of snake.
Well, I mean,
So-
realistically, if you look at the cockatrice, it is supposed to be a hybrid form of a lizard or reptile, so...
I think
I
it's
mean,
like a
whatever it
dragon
is.
chicken, isn't it?
Well, not necessarily.
Well, I think like some like renditions of the cockatrice
Yeah.
have them breathing fire instead of the. This one has a petrifying gaze, right? What does it have?
That is on its bite.
Oh, the petrifying bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them, some mythologies of it have it breathe fire instead of like the petrification
Yeah.
thing. So, I mean, it's still a scary.
So
Creature.
here's the breakdown for it. Pretty much, it's a AC of 11,
Yeah.
but 27 health.
That's more than black bear.
It's a lot more than the black bear. When you're coming down to, it's got 8 more health
Not to mention that 40-foot fly speed.
and a 20-foot regular speed.
You don't
that
need that
flying
when you're flying.
speed is what's
Yeah.
setting it apart.
Now it's got dark vision up to 60 feet and a passive perception of 11.
Yeah, well, the thing about it, though, is I can tell you exactly why it's got the petrifying on its bite attack is because all of its stats are garbo.
Oh yeah,
It does not have a single one above 13.
yeah. Its highest one is wisdom, which is a 13.
Yeah. But its bite attack is a +3 to hit, so it's going to be using its dexterity for that because it's got a -2 to strength.
Yeah,
It's 1d4 plus 1 piercing damage. However, the target has to succeed on a DC 11 con save against being magically petrified. If they fail, the creature begins to turn to stone and is restrained. It has to repeat the saving throw at the end of its next turn. On a success, the effect ends. On a failure, the creature is petrified for 24 hours.
yeah.
So it's like a miniature
Now-
basilisk
You have to.
ordeal.
Yeah, this is it's
You have to succeed.
twice.
Well, no,
Or
you
no,
only
just
have
once.
to succeed once, but you have
You cannot fail twice.
Yeah, you cannot fail at all.
Yeah.
Or you're
You can
screwed.
fail one and be
Yeah.
restrained. No big deal. You fail again.
Stone for 24 hours, bud.
Yeah. Bitch is crazy. I mean, that's dangerous right there. Could you imagine a cockatrice farmer?
I don't know if I'd eat that meat.
I don't know. I would like to see like what it's like. You know, I'd try it out. But just imagine like
Probably
you know,
tastes like turtle.
yeah.
And turtle tastes like chicken for the most part.
So it's all the same.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though, like I've imagined like a cockatrice pit where like these like mob bosses or whatever like have someone that they want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Instead of killing him and like leaving a murder scene or whatever, they throw him in the cockatrice pit where he gets bit over and over and has to make
That'd be
saving
rough.
throws over and over and over.
And even after the 24 hours when he comes out, he just gets pecked again.
Yeah, just imagine like your existence is like, oh, I'm no longer stoned. Ow! Ah.
Speaking of which, the interesting thing is that in Final Fantasy, the cockatrice is depicted as being a larger creature.
Yeah,
However, in 5e, unless you want to homebrew something else, it is considered a small monstrosity. So this is not some big old thing running around. This is something the size of your halfling that's darting in between.
this is the size of a chicken.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So on our scale, where does it belong? For what it's able to do and the lore behind it.
I'm gonna put it at Vin Diesel.
It's got to be higher than that.
I'll let you know why. One, like on the outside. All right, let's take a look at Vin Diesel. All right, on the outside, Fast and Furious movies look like awesome action movies. You know, if you were just to see a trailer for one of them, you know, all right, I can kind of get behind it. But when you see like, oh, there's more of it, and it's like this really big thing, and like the whole point of the original is just kind of drawn out. Now it's like super thin. Well, you look at the cockatrice. Oh my gosh, it's this lizard chicken that can petrify things. I mean, that's pretty good. Oh, the DC's an 11 for the Constitution saving throw. 11 armor class. Yeah, it's got 27 hit points. That's good, but oh, it's small. See what I'm saying? There's things that like, yeah, this is really big, and there's also like, oh, I'm not that intimidated by it because of its size. It's still dangerous.
You also have to think, because you've been playing a level 9 and now 10 character in my game for so long, take a step back and put yourself at first and second level, and now you're running into a couple of these.
Yeah, that's the Riddick.
Yeah.
That's the Riddick movies. That's the Xander Cage movie. That's the voicing the Iron Giant. That's why I'm putting him at Vin Diesel.
All right. Well, I think he's going to go... Cockatrice is about a 4 around Peter Dinklage for me.
Because he's small?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on. We have the Gazer.
And this is one of the monsters that I put on the list, wasn't it?
It is.
And I put it on for just one reason. It's just a small beholder.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is. It's a miniature beholder with just like 4 eye stalks.
Basically, like, here's like the description of it. So it's this tiny manifestation of the dreams of a beholder. It resembles the beholder who dreamed it into existence, but it's only 8 inches wide and only has 4 eye stalks.
Yeah.
It's a very like loyal and aggressive puppy for the beholder.
Yeah.
So,
Or if
like,
you're able to befriend one.
Yeah. Well, no, only for the one who made it.
Only for the one who made it?
Yeah. Because it's like, remember, these beholders, they are always paranoid. And so it's like, the thing that was made by this is only going to trust one person, and that's the maker.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So these things will, you know, sometimes rove around in small packs inside their master's lair. You know, they'll just like kill rats and whatnot. Basically, act as like, you know, kind of like house cats in a way. Now, let's get into the statistics of this thing. Armor class and hit points of 13.
Not that great.
Not that great. 30-foot flying speed, which is only a hover. 3 in strength. 3 in intelligence, and a 7 in charisma.
But that's 17 dexterity.
17 dexterity, 14 constitution, 10 wisdom.
This boy has a +5 to stealth, my
and
dude.
a +4 to perception. It cannot be knocked prone.
It makes sense. I mean, it's got the hover speed.
Yeah, it checks out. Dark vision of 60 feet, passive perception of 14. Pretty good.
Here is where it gets interesting, right? Aggressive. As a bonus action, the gazer can move up to its speed towards a hostile creature that it can see. It gets technically a cunning action dash.
Sort of.
Yeah, kind of. But also the mimicry. It's a little eye with 4 stalks that have eyes. It's an itty bitty kinku. In a way. Because it can mimic simple sounds of speech that it's heard in any language.
This is the Eyeball 4 speaker from Apple.
But here's where it gets spooky. Okay, now it's got its bite. It's +5 to hit. 1 piercing damage.
That's deadly.
It's horrifying.
I know.
Like, 20th level, I do not want to run into that.
I don't even want to. I could. I don't have anything else for the joke to continue.
But no, it's also got eye rays. Because of the 4 stalks, it's got different rays for each eye, pretty much. So it can shoot 2 of the following magical eye rays at random. So you roll a d4.
No, you roll 2 d4s.
Roll 2 d4. Okay.
And you reroll duplicates.
So you get Dazing Ray. The target must succeed a wisdom save of 12 or be charmed until the start of the gazer's next turn. While it's charmed, its speed is halved and it has disadvantage on attack rolls. Fear. The target creature must succeed on a 12 wisdom save or be frightened until the start of the gazer's next turn. Frost Ray. A DC 12 dexterity to save or take 3d6 cold damage. That's pretty good damage for CR half.
Yeah.
And then Telekinetic Ray, target has to succeed on a 12 strength save and be medium or smaller, or be moved up to 30 feet directly away from the gazer. If the target is an object weighing 10 pounds or less that isn't being worn or carried, the gazer moves it up to 30 feet in any direction. It can also exert fine control on objects with this ray, such as manipulating a simple tool or opening a container. Perfect for the construction industry.
Oh, yeah.
You can just go to a construction site and hear a lot of...
Well, he can mimic simple sounds of speech as heard in any language. So.
Yeah, but I'm not going to repeat what they say on a construction site. We'll be taken down.
Oh, that's
This is
true.
supposed to be family friendly.
Yeah.
Balls!
So what do you rate this gazer?
I mean, realistically, up until the eye rays. Up until the eye rays, it was a 2. The Rock, it was a 2.
Okay.
But once the eye rays came in and that unpredictability, and the fact that it can shoot 2, I'm going to have to slide it up to old number 6, rank it at a 6 with Elijah Woods.
I'm putting it with Alan Rickman.
Eesh.
Because, one, the aggressive bonus action moving its speed
That's
towards a
pretty
hostile
good.
creature. The mimicry, being able to mimic. Here's the thing. Like, if you can find these in, like, beholder's lairs, right? So let's say the party's, like, in a beholder's lair. And they are, like, turn around the corners like, okay, we've already ran into, like, kobolds or goblins or something. So, oh, man, around this corner I hear some goblins chattering. They come around expecting goblins.
And here comes the little halfling that's happy-go-lucky. Oh, look, it's a balloon. That's not a balloon.
Fear Ray, run.
Yeah.
I'm putting it up there with Alan Rickman. Honestly,
Elijah Woods, Alan Rickman, that's a pretty good.
yeah.
That's a pretty good rating. 6,
Yeah.
7, Elijah Woods, Frodo, or Severus Snape.
Yeah,
It's
or
pretty cool.
Hans.
Yeah, Hans Franza. Next up is the Knoll.
Now,
How are gnolls usually born, Jeremiah? How are they created?
we're not going to go into that.
They burst from the corpses of hyenas.
It's nasty.
He goes,
Yeah. So
and then a
gnolls.
gnoll stands up out of the corpse.
So fun fact, some history about gnolls.
Oh,
Originally, they were not meant to be hyena people. They were meant to be gnome trolls. And for some reason, it was like, it's not working. Hyena people.
I mean, it makes sense.
And on the aspect of the birth of gnolls and them being hyenas, do not look up hyenas and how they give birth.
Oh, it's terrifying.
It is gruesome.
You will learn that if you watch anything National Geographic or Discovery Channel. This is the first creature on our list. I'll say creature because not all of them are technically monsters, because this is a humanoid. Now, this is the first one on our list so far that is wearing any kind of armor, and it also says that they have a shield. So they're wearing hide armor and using a shield for a 15 AC with 22 health and a speed of 30 movement. So they're pretty much a second level player character at that point.
Yeah,
Realistically. Maybe third. Maybe third because of the 22 health. It'd have to be a pretty good roll on that, health dice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it'd have to be a pretty good roll on the health dice to be second level. The fighter, the paladin, and the barbarian could get there, but it's iffy, So it's got a 14 strength and a 12 dex, and everything else is below that. So they're not going to be overly wise, they're not going to be overly intelligent, and they're not going to be very charismatic.
They're going to be stupid and uncharismatic, but they're not going to be weak and unwise.
No, they're going to be vicious.
Yeah.
So they have a dark vision of 60 feet and a passive perception of 10, and they know the language of Gnoll.
Yeah.
They know the language of Gnoll. See what I did there?
That's going to make me go on a rampage if you keep these puns up. Speaking of rampage,
Hey!
Rampage! When the Gnoll reduces a creature to 0 hit points with a melee attack on its turn, the Gnoll can take a bonus action move up to half its speed and make a bite attack.
That's pretty good. But speaking of bite, it's a melee weapon attack that's a +4 to hit thanks to its strength, and it does 1d4 plus 2 piercing damage.
Piercing damage. Speaking of piercing damage, look at the spear. Melee or ranged weapon attack. +4 to hit. Reach of 5 foot. Range of 20 to 60. 1d6 of the 1d6 plus 2 piercing damage, or 1d8 plus 2 piercing damage if used with 2 hands to make a melee attack.
Range. Speaking of range, it's also got a longbow.
Whoa!
To where it's got a +3 to hit with a range of 150 to 600 feet, and it does 1d8 plus 1 piercing damage.
Now, after...
The Gnoll is the Segway. It's the master of Segways.
I just want to see a herd of gnolls on segways.
Ooh.
It's
Ooh.
Could you, like... You've seen a little bit of Game of Thrones, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Have you seen the Dothraki horde?
I have.
Remember that scene, like, when you're, like, you don't see them, but you hear them, like, riding the thundering hoofbeats?
You just hear them.
Imagine just a thunderous Paul Blart Mall Knoll. Now, anyways, so we listed off the actions. If you notice, we never mentioned anything about multi-attack.
Noel Blart, Noel Cop.
It doesn't have multi-attack, so it can only do one of these per turn. Now, another thing, we said spear for the 1d6 or 1d8, depending if it's using 2 hands.
Yeah.
If you remember, its armor class is dependent on that shield.
Yep, so it will drop down to a 13 if it does decide to dual hand that spear.
Yeah, now here's the fun fact about gnolls. This isn't the only stat block for gnoll creatures.
Nope.
But we included gnoll because it's honestly almost an iconic monster.
Yeah.
It's the origin, because the gnoll origins, they come from the abyss, I believe.
Well, there's a reason that there is an entire area of Baldur's Gate 3 devoted to the gnoll.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's your main enemy at a certain point in the game. Once you're going towards the Paladin Outrest, or if you're trying to get that vial that they have it's not a beholder or a gazer. It's a watcher or something like that.
Oh,
it's a mini beholder, but it's not the gazer.
It's not the death kiss, is it?
No, it's got like 120 something health.
Okay.
I think it's a watcher, or it might be a full-grown gazer. I don't remember. It's been a while. But that's about the area you're going to start running into them.
Yeah. But gnolls, here's one of the best part about gnolls for Dungeon Masters to use. Treat them as like their own race.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Sure, you can make a whole like army of gnolls and just use this stat block for every single soldier, you ain't got to. There's other stat blocks for better gnolls out there.
Yeah.
Change up the equipment. Instead of a sphere, give them a great club. Instead of
As a matter of fact, there are different CRs, some, but there is the Gnoll Fang of Yunogu, the Flesh Gnawer, 2 different ones for that. A Gnoll Hunter, Pack Lord, Gnoll Vampire. That is a CR 8.
yeah,
And then there's the Gnoll Witherling at CR quarter.
yeah. The gnoll, you can have some real fun with the gnoll.
Yeah. Now, the reason that we, like you said, we put it at CR half and just did the regular Gnoll is because there's so much for the Gnoll here at CR half and going on.
Oh yeah.
So on
This could be a great segue for the party's like big bad evil guy is a gnoll invasion horde or something.
yeah.
So
So on the cool factor, I think the Gnoll realistically falls around 5 Sean Bean.
I'm gonna give it a Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, fair.
Like just one gnoll.
Are you saying that because he's a hyena?
No, I'm saying that because he bites. That's the only reason. We all know he had teething problems as a baby.
Yeah.
Like, you know. But
Weakling.
like the only reason I give him like lower, I would put gnolls together like as a 6 or 7. But
Yeah.
just one gnoll singular, I'm giving it Peter Dinklage. Like yeah, it's armor class of 15 and
Run of the mill, right in the middle of the pack.
here's the thing. This one's only going to be dishing out a D4, a D6, or a D8 of damage per turn.
Yeah.
And it's got 22 hit points and a 15 armor class. That's manageable
Yeah.
when you have a party of 4 going up against it.
Exactly.
So that's why one on its own, no problem. Passive perception of 10, you can sneak by this thing.
Pretty easily.
Yeah, but a little bit more. A little bit more dangerous.
Next on the list is a Gray Ooze.
Now we get into some classic stuff.
There's an AC of 8 with 22 health and a speed of 10 feet and a climb speed of 10 feet. They ain't moving very quick.
Because they are
Ooze.
ooze.
However, they do have damage resistances, and this is the first time we're seeing this on CR half list. They are resistant to acid, cold, and fire, and are immune to blinded, charmed, deafened, exhaustion, frightened, and prone. They also have a blind side of 60 feet, and they're blind beyond that radius. And their passive perception is only 8 because they have a 6 wisdom.
Yeah, they're not the smartest. They're not the fastest. They're not the strongest.
But can they be scary? Oh, yeah.
Well, one of the reasons why is oozes are not like stalking predators. They are ambushers.
Yep.
Like, for example,
Well,
the
we
faint-
say ambush. That's why they got the 10 foot of movement to where they just fall off the ceiling on top of you.
Yeah, like the thing is, like the gelatinous cube, the classic ooze monster. Like most people will be like, that doesn't seem deadly. What makes it deadly is when you're in a dungeon in dim light, relying on that dark vision, and you see through the cube, but you don't realize it's there.
No, it's
And you-
not that.
And you walk
It's
right
not.
into it.
It's not a cube. It's an ooze.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about
Oh,
the
the
gelatinous
gelatinous
cube.
cube, yep.
If you would listen,
Nah, I
have a
can't do
second.
that. I can't do that.
But what makes this gray ooze a little bit more dangerous with the ambush tactics is the false appearance ability.
Exactly.
While it remains motionless, it is indistinguishable from an oily pool or wet rock.
Because here's the thing. What are the rules of dark vision?
Dark vision you see in darkness as dim light, and dim light as bright light.
And only in gray shades of gray.
Shades of gray.
What color is this ooze?
Yeah, it's gray.
Its stealth ought to be realistically, if you want to give it, give it anything. If you're in using dark vision and you're in a dungeon, nobody has a torch. This thing's stealth should be like a rogue, at least a +7.
Well, technically,
But that could be up to DM discretion.
if they're going to be in dim light, the players automatically have disadvantage on perception checks
Yep,
because even if they rely on dark vision, and if they're not seeing at all.
exactly.
So that technically turns this +2 stealth into a +7.
Yeah,
So it's still dangerous. Now you may be asking, like, okay, you keep talking about like its immunities and it's hiding techniques, but what makes it absolutely dangerous? Well, let's look at this.
corrode metal.
The corrode metal, yeah, That right there. Any non-magical weapon made of metal that hits the ooze corrodes. After dealing damage, the weapon takes a permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to damage rolls. Not to attack rolls, just the damage rolls. If it drops to a -5, the weapon is destroyed. Non-magical ammunition made of metal that hits the ooze is destroyed after dealing damage. Those arrows are not being retrieved.
Nope.
The ooze can eat through 2-inch thick non-magical metal in 1 round.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just parking ooze
Now,
directly on top of the plate mail.
Now, it's not just weapons. With pseudopod attack, it's
Yep.
+3 to hit, 1d6, 1 bludgeoning damage, plus 2d6 acid damage. That's 3d6 points of damage right there.
Yep.
And if the target is wearing non-magical metal armor, its armor is partly corroded and takes a permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to the AC it offers. The armor is destroyed if the penalty reduces the AC to 10. Now, here's a question.
You get a bunch of these in one place, it can be scary.
Yeah.
You don't really have to worry about the damage so much because this could be useful as a DM to just give a little bit of fun and challenge to a party in a dungeon all the way up to like 12th level.
Yeah. Honestly, what you could do is just to like scare the party a little bit. Give this thing like a really high AC, but like cut it to a quarter of its health.
Yep.
And make it where it attacks one person after the other, never like the same person twice. Or attack someone with that high AC twice a little bit. Bring the party's resources down a little bit, but make it like the first hit, this thing's dead.
Either that or flip the script. Leave the AC where it's at. They got to roll 8 or lower to make contact because it's so gelatinous. It's so...
Oh.
You know.
That's an interesting idea. Like negative AC?
Yeah. To where they have to roll an 8 or lower.
That would be... In some cases, if the party's high enough level, they would have to roll a crit fail to hit it.
Exactly.
That is... I like
It's
the idea.
one of those to where this is not meant for you to beat. This is meant for you to suffer a bit to where you're challenged more in the next fight.
Yeah. I like it, but I also don't.
Yeah, I get it because it would suck to go through that.
You remember that one time y'all was playing in one of my games, and I can't remember what was going on, but like for some reason, some like world bending thing happened, and now all your pluses were minuses, and all your minuses were pluses.
Yep, and I took a -12 to my hunting rifle attacks.
Yeah.
I didn't attack. I
Yeah.
just stood there.
But now that that barbarian was making those intelligence saving throws, even better.
That's fair.
Yeah. But what do you rate this gray ooze as?
Realistically, on cool factor,
Yeah.
it's pretty freaking cool.
Honestly, it is pretty cool.
That's a 8 Bruce Willis for me.
That's good. Yeah, I'm putting it right there with Bruce Willis.
That's a Bruce Willis for me.
Only because when the ooze remains motionless, it is indistinguishable from the
Yeah.
oily pool that he uses to wax his head.
The ooze man.
Love you, Bruce Willis.
We do. Now the orc.
First things first about the orc, okay? We are talking about the classic, dumb tribal orc. Not the orcs from, what's that technology world? Eberron.
Yeah.
Not from there, or Exandria, or your latest fan fiction where the orcs are the smartest race.
We're talking about meat's back on the menu, boys.
We're talking about orcs that are evil in nature.
Yep. With the intelligence of Patrick Star.
Yeah, we are talking about orcs like basically the standard
fantasy orc.
The standard fantasy orc that was like in Tolkien's works and a bunch of other stuff, not the
Yeah.
new.
Not the new stuff.
Yeah, so when we are talking about a orc and we say things like, yeah, these things are born evil, we're not talking about all orcs. We're talking about a specific trope. So don't at me.
Or do at us to where we can at least get somebody talking to us. So the orc has a 13 AC, and that's thanks to its hide armor with 15 hit points and a speed of 30 feet. So it's not as strong as the gnoll.
No, it is not.
However, it's got an intimidation of +2 with a dark vision of 60 feet, and its passive perception is only 10, but it does speak 2 languages in common and orc. But unlike the gnoll, it does have that aggressive trait to where it can move up to its speed toward a hostile creature that it can see as a bonus action.
Just like the Gazer.
which is why they gave it the bonus action dash for a player character in this new bullcrap they're trying to put out.
I don't mind that bonus action dash from the orc.
It's scary.
I mean, it's well deserved.
It's scary.
Yeah. Now, again, this thing does not have multi-attack, so it's just one attack per action.
However, it is using a great axe. Now, obviously, the great axe has got a smaller potential of damage than a great sword, and you can play around with that if you want to.
No. It has a fairer average of everything.
Yeah.
The great sword has a higher average of the middle,
Yeah.
and the range is slightly increased.
For a D12 plus 3 slashing damage, or a javelin to make a melee or ranged attack, which is a plus 5 to hit, and it's a D6 plus 3. Range of 30 to 120.
Not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
There's not a whole lot wrong
This
with
guy is literally just run of the mill.
it. Yeah.
It's an orc.
Yeah. It's kind of basic.
4, Peter Dinklage.
I'm giving it 3. Who was our 3?
That's Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel? Yeah, I'll
Yep.
give him a Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel and Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Now, it's out of alphabetical order on here, so I'm going to skip it and come back to it. The Skeletal Alchemist.
Oh, so this is one that I saw, and this is. Hold on, let me pull up the stat block here because this is not in the monster manual, or this isn't one that you're just gonna find. I think this is like exclusive to like one of the books, but you know, as D&D is, you can just use it wherever you want.
Yep.
So let me tell you a little bit about the Skeletal Alchemist. This undead retains enough of its former self to continue its alchemical work, often on behalf of necromancers or other sinister patrons. It toils in a dark laboratory, such as the one found in the sinister secret of Saltmarsh, often falling dormant for long periods of time.
So it looks cool.
It came from the Ghost of Saltmarsh book,
Yeah.
which was just like a little mini-series of like seafaring adventurers.
Give us that quick breakdown of the stat block.
Well, I want to tell you about the imagery of it first. I really love the picture.
It looks like an undead wizard.
Yeah, it's got that wizard robe. It's got like a wizard hat, but it's got like these magical, wispy, like arcane tendrils for a beard.
Yeah.
And I love a skeleton with a beard. So, medium undead, awesome. Lawful evil, love it. Armor class of 11, pretty good for a
it's
wizard.
skeleton. It's skeleton.
It's a skeleton that's meant to be more on the magical
Yeah.
side than, you know. Hit points of 32.
That's dang good
That's
for
I
a
think
skeleton
That's the highest we've seen
so far.
of
Yeah.
the CR halves. Speed of 30, not bad. That's the average. Arcana plus 4 in skills.
Expected.
Those stats, I mean, they're all right. 9 in charisma, 9 in strength.
The
10 in
15
wisdom.
con and 14 intelligence, though.
Yeah, those are your heavy hitters. Vulnerable to bludgeoning, as skeletons usually are. Immune to poison. Cannot
Never
be
would
poisoned.
have expected that.
Honestly, it makes sense, though.
Well, I'm being sarcastic
Oh,
because every other skeleton is immune to poison damage.
well.
There you go.
Be sarcastic better. Also, cannot be exhausted. Another good one. Dark vision 60 feet, passive perception 10. You know, a lot of basic stuff, but let me get into the fun stuff. Magic resistance.
Advantage on any spell save.
Yes, or
Magical effect.
magical effects. So, subclass abilities
Yep.
that seem magical. Those that are included, it is advantage against.
Yep, because if the College of Whispers, the Psychic Blades, if there's a save involved in that, which I don't think there is.
Psychic blades?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is.
there is.
Yeah.
He's got advantage.
Or no, maybe there's not.
I was about to say, I think it's just as long as you hit, you can do the extra 2d6 psychic damage. However, if there
Wait,
was
what
a
are we
save-
talking about?
Huh?
Which psychic blades are we talking about? College of Whispers Bard or okay, that's not. You don't hit with those.
I get that. I'm talking about magical effect if there is a save involved.
Yeah.
And I'm saying if there was a save involved in that, he would have an advantage against it.
Yeah. What were you talking about hitting? Are you talking about the psychic blades from the rogue subclass?
No, the psychic blades feature from the College of Whispers. As long as you hit, you can use it.
No, you don't have to hit.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
Is it just when you attack?
It's not when you attack, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I can't remember which one it is. Hold on.
When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can spend one use of your Bardic Inspiration to deal an extra 2d6 psychic damage.
Oh, what was their other ability where you just have to, like...
It's unfortunate that you have been proven wrong on the internet now. I'm just going to bask in my glory.
Hey, what was the other subclass?
I'm not listening to you. You were wrong.
All right, I'm just going to mute your mic. What was their... They have the other subclass ability.
I done got out of it because I proved myself right, but I'll keep going.
Go back in there, idiot.
College of Whispers. What do you want to know?
You
talking about the Words of Terror?
Yeah, that was what I was thinking of.
Well, Words of Terror and Psychic Blades are two completely different things.
Yeah,
so
but I had them mixed up.
that's like mixing up your wife with a sheep.
No, it's not. I mean, I thought they were... I switched them up. I was thinking the Psychic Blades was like, you whisper sweet, like these terrifying words, and like the blades are psychic in their mind.
No.
And they're terrified. When it's just the words of terror.
No. There was only a College of Whisper bard in your campaign for a year.
Like she played a bard, right?
Fair.
Don't you try to justify your
Fair.
side using a terrible example. That is shoddy groundwork for a defensive argument I've ever heard.
That's fair. This thing's got a multi-attack.
Yeah. That makes 2 lob acid attacks. Now you may be asking, what is lob acid? Never heard of lob acid.
Lob is
the verb.
Yep. You take acid and you lob it like a grenade.
You just throw acid. It's a +3 to hit, a range of 30 to 120, 1d8 plus 1 acid damage. Now, you also got the claw attack, which is +3 to hit, 1d6 plus 1. But why would you do that when you could just throw acid?
I mean, that's fair.
Could you just... I love the imagery of this little bearded skeleton in like wizard robes just
sitting
in the
there,
swamp. And the party's like on like a little canoe just going through the bayou. Like, I think that gator was around here somewhere, and they hear like clattering of bones. Like, what in the world was that? Ah, it burns!
Ah, the witch from Minecraft. How you're walking through peacefully, minding your own business, and the next thing you know, you hear glass shattering. You're going tick, 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 tick. You turn around, there's this little thing staring at you. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, that's it.
This is D&D's version of the Minecraft witch.
Man, speaking of...
Because of that, it gets 1. No, it's pretty cool.
Honestly, I just... It just feels so gimmicky, and I love it.
Yeah, it does, but...
Yeah. But anyways, let me get off on a tangent real quick. Speaking of Minecraft and D&D, did you see the stat blocks for the Minecraft monsters?
I did not.
They have the Ender Dragon, Enderman, Creeper, the Overworld Wolf. Man, all these years, and Minecraft stayed out of my little safe place of Dungeons and Dragons.
Now they're in it.
But now it's in there. So
I think this dude's going to go up to about a... I think I'm going to go with another Elijah Woods.
I'll give it an Elijah Woods. I like the gimmick. I like the
it's
aesthetic.
Elijah Wood. It's not Woods. I'm thinking Tiger Woods. Elijah Wood.
I'll give it 2 Elijah Woods.
2 Elijah Woods.
Yeah, but cut in half.
Yeah.
I'll give them 2 Frodo-sized Elijah Woods. Therefore, it is 1 Elijah Woods.
Now, there are a lot in this, which is why we decided to just talk about them in general, the swarm monsters.
Yes.
So for CR half, there are a swarm of beetles, centipedes, insects, mechanical spiders, rock grubs, spiders, wasps, and wasps. So there's a fair bit to choose from because the swarm of rats, ravens, and all that stuff is CR quarter. Now there are swarms that go all the way up to CR 6. But specifically for the CR half stuff, we've got spiders, wasps, rock grubs, mechanical spiders, insects, centipedes, and beetles. All of which I don't want to see a swarm of. I don't want to see a swarm of beetles because the mummy. I don't want to see a swarm of spiders because, spiders don't bother me, but I still don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
Rock grubs, they just don't sound very nice.
No.
Swarm of mechanical spiders takes me back to Skyrim
Yes, I was
and
just
all those
thinking of
stupid dwarven spiders.
that. Those things were so stupid.
And of course, the swarm of wasps. I can't tell you how much joy it brings me to smack a wasp out of the air with my hat and stomp it into the ground.
Dude, those wasps,
They're evil.
they are.
They do absolutely nothing for the environment. They go after honeybees. They need to just die.
Yeah, why are all these, like, animal activists are coming after people for, like, hurting honeybees? Go after the wasps.
Yeah, go after the wasps. Leave the honeybees alone.
No, they're coming after us for, like, oh, you humans are ruining honeybees. Like, get the wasps.
Yeah, get the wasps
Get
and
on
the hornets.
Take a page out of everyone else's book and just go after Mother Nature for being stupid.
But to get a general aspect of, or a general idea of the hit points for these, like the swarm of wasps is a 22 health. The rock grubs are 22. I think most of them are going to be about 22.
They're going to be within that ballpark.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be sort of like the same armor class.
It's going to be pretty much the same attacks. It's going to be a difference in piercing and slashing depending on what kind of attack they're using.
Yeah, now it's like, it's going to be the same thing, just flavored a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And one of the things that makes it a swarm is it has the swarm ability. The swarm can occupy another creature's space and vice versa. The swarm can move through any opening large enough for a tiny insect. The swarm can't regain hit points or gain temporary hit points.
Now, here's the thing, though. Because there's a lot of versatility.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so cool. It's not the fact that it's a swarm of wasps, because who cares? Get some wasp spray or in-game burning hands. Just take it out.
Poison spray.
It's the versatility of it, because
Yeah.
it can be a swarm of anything.
Yeah, and now another thing you'll see in these swarm type monsters is they will their damage will actually decrease the less health they have, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Like with the swarm of beetles, +3 to hit on their bite attack, 44 piercing damage, which is pretty high, or 2d4 piercing damage if it has half of its hit points or fewer.
Yeah.
So again, you'll see the different
It's
attacks.
a changing thing.
Yeah,
Which is
decrease.
cool.
Which honestly is just like, basically like the curve. Like imagine if you had like a line, little graph of like, as the fight goes on, how hard is it?
Yeah.
Creature that has like, like a Dark Souls boss that has like phases, that line's going to keep on going up.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is actually going to do the opposite of that. It's going to decrease because the damage is going to get reduced with the hit points.
Now, the cool factor, it's a lot of versatility, specifically for the CR half group.
Yeah.
Because you could take the CR quarters and bump them up to a CR half.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with 7, Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman?
Because there's so much you can do with a swarm.
Yeah, I feel like I have to handicap it because there's so much you can do. Because one, this is a group instead of one singular monster,
Yeah.
So I'm automatically gonna give it a -3. Whatever my
That'd be Peter
score is,
Dinklage.
I'm gonna give it a -3 if I go with Alan Rickman.
Okay.
But the swarm, the way that the fight will change as the battle goes on.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna be the basic, everything stays the same until everyone's dead or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it works, the mechanics are working for the fight to change. I like that, so it's going to be a new technique, and it's going to introduce the party into some new concepts of mechanics. So I'm going to give it an 8, which is Bruce Willis, right?
Yep, and it'll go down to a Sean Bean.
Goes down to a Sean Bean. From Bruce Willis to Sean Bean.
Now,
from Die Hard to always dying hard in movies.
yeah. Now, here our last one. Zorbo. I had never heard of this until I went through the monster manual and the bestiary on my phone looking at the CR half to make this list, and oh my lord.
Yes.
It's a small monstrosity that looks like a reptile bear in a way. It's a ferocious omnivore similar in size and appearance to a koala. Living in trees and caves, it has long claws, a dour disposition, and a fondness for humanoid flesh. A Zorbo alters its natural armor to match its surroundings.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can weaken and destroy armor, shields, and protective magic items with its sharp claws. Hint, and protective magic items. Okay, so
Now-
getting into this is the natural armor feature.
Now let's mention something first.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna put the Rust Monster on this list.
But this is so much better.
Yeah, the Rust Monster is a classic one that will degrade your party's stuff, similar to how the Grey Ooze did it. But this one, I feel like the Rust Monster did a little bit better.
Yeah.
But we chose the Zorbo over the Rust Monster because there's so much more going on with it.
Now, this is why. Now, the armor class specifically right now on the stat block sits at 10, but it says in parentheses to see natural armor feature. So let's go ahead and scroll down to that. The Zorbo magically absorbs the natural strength of its surroundings, adjusted its armor class based on the material it's standing or climbing on. If it's wood or bone, it's an AC of 15. If it's earth or stone, it's a 17. If it's metal, it's an AC of 19.
Oof.
And if the Zorbo isn't in contact with any of these substances, it's a 10. But it's got 27 health,
Not bad.
with a climb and walking speed of 30. Now, its passive perception is only 11. It's not very good.
But
magic resistance.
Similar to the Skeletal Alchemist.
Exactly. Now, its actions, it's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. The destructive claw hit is a +3 to hit, one target, 2d6 plus 1, so it's doing the same damage as a greatsword. 2d6 plus 1 slashing damage, and if the target is a creature wearing armor, carrying a shield, or is in possession of a magic item that improves its AC, it has to make a dexterity saving throw of 11. On a failed save, one such item worn or carried by the creature, the target's choice, magically deteriorates, taking a permanent and cumulative -1 to the AC it offers, and the Zorbo gains a +1 to AC until the start of its next turn. Armor reduced to an AC of 10, or a shield or magic item that drops to a 0 AC increase.
If your armor is
destroyed.
decreased to 10 with its AC, your armor's gone.
If your shield goes
or
to a 0, it's gone.
yeah. If your magic item drops to a +0 AC increase, gone.
So your ring of protection, you got one hit.
Yeah, unless it's a
One hit.
unless it's the ring of protection +2
Yeah.
or
You get
+3.
Yeah, you get one hit from a ring of protection.
Yeah.
If that's what you have to choose, you know. That's freaking cool.
Yeah.
There is a lot of versatility in that. There's a ton. It's the most versatile.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that came from the Tomb of Annihilation book, in case anyone was wondering.
Now you could put it in a mine, say for instance, you're in a iron mine. You're in the iron shafts.
Yeah.
Standing on stone is when it starts, but then as it's moving around, it finds itself standing on iron ore, and its AC goes from 17 to 19, like that.
Oof.
And now it's not only is it still hitting and degenerating your stuff because you're lower level. You failed the dex save because it went after the barbarian. Now it's a 20 AC.
Ooh.
This dude is a 10. It's ranking with Henry Cavill.
Yes, this is a 10.
Out of our list, it is a Henry Cavill.
And you know what, listeners? Here's a little scenario you could have. Take the Zorbo. And here's a little plot hook. There was a miner who founded a Zorbo.
The one that digs.
Yes, there was. There was this iron miner. You know, and one day he found a Zorbo in
The Miner 69er.
Oh gosh. Basically finds a Zorbo in the wild and adopted him as a pet.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, brings him into the mine because he's got no other place really to hide him. You know, because he's not allowed to have pets from like the mining company or whatever. Doesn't know that a Zorbo enjoys humanoid flesh, so he's just feeding it rations, and it gets fat, and eventually just gets overgrown. So it's no longer a small monstrosity; it's a large monstrosity that is stuck in the mine and is eating miners after its owner has died and perished.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
The Zorbo is cool. It's awesome.
yeah,
And I wish I had found it before my game got so high level because I would have used it.
Dude, just bump it up.
Oh, I could.
Yeah.
Because y'all are about to start realm hopping, buddy.
Yeah. I can't wait for Reginald Tulliers.
But yeah, that is our list for CR half. Now, it happened to be, let's see. It happened to be 10. Now, CR1 could be 6. Or it could be 15. You know, it just depends. Because there are a lot of really good monsters in between CR1 to CR5.
Yeah.
So, that's what we'll be doing in the next one. And we'll be sure to update our celebrity ranking list in between now and then. To where we can have new faces, new names, and we'll see where the CR1s rank.
Don't forget to check our Facebook page when we upload that Blazy the Bear stat block.
Exactly. Now, if you disagree with any of our rankings or anything that we've said, remember that we are right 90% of the time, and you are usually wrong.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. And keep on rolling high.
And we'll see you in the next one.
It's D&D.